All right, get ready to dive deep, everybody. Today, we're going all the way to Warrenpoint, Northern Ireland.
A fantastic choice, really.
It might seem like just another charming spot on a postcard, right?
Maybe?
Mountains, water, the usual Irish scenery.
Well, we thought so too.
But let me tell you, after digging through town websites, Wikipedia, even those local tourism pages,
Warrenpoint is brimming with surprises, I'll tell you that.
seriously, way more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
So, to kick us off, where exactly are we talking about on the map?
Okay, so picture this. You're right at the head of Carlingford Lough,
Okay, following you.
just south of Newry, and you find Warrenpoint nestled right there.
And what's fascinating, at least to me, it's bordering both Northern Ireland and the Republic.
Exactly. A true geographical crossroads, and that plays a huge part in its story, trust me.
Okay, so we've got location, but names hold history, right? What's the story behind Warrenpoint?
Oh, you're going to love this. You hear Warrenpoint, maybe you think quaint countryside, right?
Makes sense to me.
But get this. The name likely came from a rabbit warren.
You're kidding. From bunnies.
No joke. Quite a contrast to its original Irish name.
Oh, I love a good Irish name. Let's hear it.
Rin McJula Ruid. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Huh. I'll stick with Warrenpoint for now, but what does it mean?
McElroy's Point hints at ancient clans, power struggles, the works.
Wow, talk about grand beginnings for a town known for, well, rabbits. Though I bet those rabbits saw a lot over the years.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of which, it wasn't always just hopping with bunnies, you know?
What else was going on then? Paint us a picture.
Okay, fast forward to the 1800s. Warrenpoint is booming. We're talking bustling port town.
Really? That's not the image that comes to mind.
Right, and get this, dominating the skyline is this massive windmill grinding away.
Oh, wow. So we're talking full-on industrial revolution even over there.
Exactly, and as if that wasn't enough change, the Victorians, they discovered Warrenpoint.
Ah, yes. The Victorians always loved a good seaside escape.
Right, and Warrenpoint was the place to be, apparently. Well, we're talking 7 hotels, 30 guest houses, all catering to vacationers.
30 guest houses. This tiny town, they were packed in.
They were, and it gets better, or at least busier. 1849, the railway arrives.
Ah, the railways, always shaking things up. Makes you wonder what those Rabbit Warren residents thought of all the commotion.
I know, right? But even with all that excitement, there were some darker times too, you know?
Yeah, we did come across a few mentions of that in our research, unfortunately.
It's true. History isn't always pretty, and Warrenpoint saw its share, like during World War II.
Right, what happened?
2 RAF planes, they were doing a demonstration, collided right over the town.
Oh.
Debris raining down on the streets. A stark reminder that even a place as seemingly far removed as Warrenpoint wasn't immune to the war's reach.
Such a tragic thing. And then, of course, there's the troubles. It feels almost impossible to talk about Warrenpoint, or really anywhere in Northern Ireland during that time, without acknowledging the impact it had.
It's true. It's a heavy but important part of Warrenpoint's story, and one that continues to shape its identity today.
A really important point. Understanding that past adds so much depth to the Warrenpoint we see now.
A past that's still very much alive in the stories and the spirit of the people there.
You're right. It's like, to really know Warrenpoint, you have to understand where it's been, what it's overcome.
Absolutely. But it's not all shadowed by the past, not at all. What struck me is how vibrant it is today, especially those festivals.
Yeah. We saw those mentioned all over, didn't we? Like Blues on the Bay, some serious music cred there.
Oh, it's not just any old festival, let me tell you. Imagine this. You're by the lough, sun
Right.
setting, and it's the sound of, like, Van Morrison drifting out.
Stop. I'm getting chills just picturing it.
Right. That's Warrenpoint for you. Natural beauty, history, and a whole lot of soul.
Okay, sold. Now tell me more about Wake the Giant, because that name alone is amazing.
It's like they took the legend of Finn McCool, the giant, and said, let's make this a party.
Giant puppets, right.
Giant puppets, music, the whole town comes alive.
Okay, that's it. I need to go experience this Wake the Giant magic. I'm adding Warrenpoint to my travel list right now. So let's say I'm booking a flight. What's the can't miss stuff I have to see?
Well, first off, you can't go to Warrenpoint and not stroll the promenade.
It's in every single guide, isn't it?
And for good reason. Imagine you're walking along the water, sunshine, a bit of that sea breeze,
I could practically smell it.
and you've got the Mourne Mountains on one side, the Cooley Mountains across the lough, like something out of a painting.
I read somewhere it was in a movie too, right?
Oh, yeah. The Butcher Boy. They filmed scenes right there on the promenade.
No way. I love that movie. Okay, now I'm picturing those characters, their stories, playing out against that backdrop.
Exactly. Adds a whole other layer, right? But even without the movies, it's where generations have walked, lovers, families, everyone taking in the
I
view.
love places like that where you can practically feel the history beneath your feet.
You get that all over Warrenpoint, but especially the promenade.
Okay, so Promenade is a must-do, but we can't forget Narrow Water Castle.
Oh, that's not just any old castle, trust me.
Every single source we looked at mentioned it. What's so special?
Imagine this. You're approaching this imposing 16th century tower house right on the edge of the Lough.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
This isn't some Disney castle. This is the real deal, built to last, and you can just feel the history oozing out of it, you know?
You mentioned stories earlier. What's the story with this castle? Give us the good stuff.
Oh, there's tragic love stories tied to the McGinnis clan, the same clan linked to that coronation stone we talked about earlier.
You're killing me. We need a whole other deep dive just for this castle.
Right. And get this, it's still owned by the Hall family, descendants of the original builders.
No way. What, do they do anything with it?
They do. Events, weddings, you name it. Imagine celebrating inside a real castle.
Warrenpoint's got it all. History, beauty, and you can party in a castle. This place is incredible. But we haven't even touched on those mountains, have we?
The Mourne Mountains, they're practically part of the town's identity, always there, looming large.
Every picture I've seen, they're in the background. Just stunning.
And so close, you can easily head from a charming town, stroll right into some serious hiking.
And speaking of hikes, there was something about a special stone up in those mountains, wasn't there?
Yeah, Sleeve Martin, it's a popular hike, and for good reason.
So what's the story? Why is this stone so special?
Picture this. You've made your way up this mountain, great views, and then there it is, this huge granite boulder just perched on the edge of a cliff.
Hold on. Perched. Like it could roll off at any minute.
Pretty much. Locals call it the Clelmore Stone, and legend has it the giant Finn McCool, Finn McCool hurled it there.
Get out! As if those giants weren't impressive enough already. But, what gets me about Warrenpoint is it's not stuck in the past with these stories.
Right. It's not just a museum of itself.
Exactly. It's got this vibrant present, too, like you were saying with those festivals. But even just, like, it's a working town, right? Not frozen in time.
Absolutely. The port, think about it. It went from those windmill days to now, still a key part of their economy.
And then they've got these layers of Victorian charm, the mountains right there for adventures. It's almost like too much to handle,
That's the thing about Warrenpoint. It's this blend, this unexpected mix that just works somehow.
I'm with you. It's like on paper, it's ancient myths, modern life, rugged nature, and peaceful waters all smashed together.
But somehow it creates this feeling, this atmosphere that's just purely Warrenpoint.
We've covered some serious ground today, haven't we? From rabbit warrens to wartime tragedies, a little Victorian glam thrown in.
We barely scratched the surface.
Right. It's like every corner we turned, there was another story, another layer of history or legend or just pure beauty.
It makes you think, Here's a final thought for everyone listening.
Hit us with it.
Imagine you're on that promenade as the sun sets, right? The sky's all orange and purple. Maybe there's music drifting from a pub.
Okay, stop. I'm booking a flight as we speak.
And across the water, those Mournes, they're just silhouetted against the light.
See, now you're just being cruel. That image, that's Warrenpoint summed up, isn't it?
It's that feeling of being connected to something bigger, something older, but still very much alive.
Beautifully put. Warrenpoint, you have officially won our hearts, and probably our listeners too.
I have a feeling we'll be getting requests to go back for round 2.
Oh, 100%. And for everyone listening, thanks for coming along on this incredible journey with us. Until next time, keep exploring.